In Guatemala, authorities prepare for the presidential runoff this Sunday following a tense electoral campaign. In Canada, authorities declared a state of emergency in British Columbia and ordered the evacuation of some 16,000 people as wildfires intensify. And in Niger, an ECOWAS diplomatic mission arrived to negotiate a peaceful solution to the crisis generated by the coup d'etat. Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Luis Alberto Matos from the TeleSUR studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. On Saturday, Guatemalan authorities make the last preparations ahead of Sunday's presidential runoff. The Electoral Board carries out tours of the polling stations to guarantee their operability. Also, members of the National Police are carrying out ground and aerial patrols with helicopters as part of the 32-2023 plan that establishes actions to guarantee the right to vote and reduce social unrest. In the meantime, international observers have highlighted the possibility of remaining in the country until January 14th, when the president-elect will be sworn in order to watch over the will of the people. Guatemalan authorities announced Saturday that the dry law comes into effect as part of the regulations ahead of Sunday's elections. According to Article 223 of the Electoral and Political Parties Law, the measure prohibits the sale, purchase, and consumption of alcohol throughout the country. The statement added that people who violate the norm will be detained and punished economically by the Ministry of the Interior through the National Civil Police. On Saturday, the Ecuadorian presidential candidate Otto Sonnenholzner reported a shooting incident in front of the place where he was having breakfast with his family. A video shared on digital platforms shows the moment in which, while the candidate was taking pictures with supporters in a coffee shop, shots are heard and everyone throws themselves to the floor. Ecuador is suffering an insecurity crisis that the government attributes to disputes between criminal gangs for the control of drug trafficking routes, added to the assassinations of political leaders on the eve of the upcoming elections. Also in Ecuador, the mayor of the municipality La Libertad in the province of Santa Elena, Francisco Tamaris, denounced an attack against him. The mayor said that the armored vehicle in which he was traveling had been hit by at least 30 bullets. Tamaris added that alleged police officers were the perpetrators of the attack, according to a video posted on social media. Tamaris was traveling with his wife and two other persons associated with the family, who claimed that they were approached by an unidentified police national car.
A white van with no logo or identification appeared without any identification of the national police. None people got out, one of them masked, dressed in a hood, and the other one too. People I know and I have fully visualized that works in the police force. They never asked absolutely anything. They didn't ask for identification, absolutely nothing. Any comment other than it's a lie. In a matter of seconds, they began to shoot at the vehicle where we were going with my wife, with my godmother and godfather. They began to shout at us. They never asked who was there. If a police officer had approached us, I would have told them what I have always told them. I'm Pancho Tamaris, mayor of La Libertad. Officer, here I am. Good night, good morning, with the respect I have always showed them.
Mayor Tamaris holds Ecuadorian President Guillermo Lasso responsible for his own and his family's lives.
Ecuadorian state responsible for my safety. I publicly call on the President of the Republic, Guillermo Lasso, the Minister of the Interior and the Ministry of Government. I hold them directly responsible for my life.
Cuban President Miguel Díaz-Canel hosted Celso Amorín, one of the most important advisors to the government of Brazilian President Lula da Silva. During the meeting, which lasted about an hour, they discussed matters related to possible exchanges in priority sectors that will serve to develop and consolidate ties between the two peoples and governments. Upon leaving the meeting, President Lula da Silva's special envoy offered some details of his visit. In the Dominican Republic, 28 people have reportedly died after an explosion in San Cristobal, a commercial zone in the south of the country. According to the report of the Emergency Operations Center, the number increased after it was registered the death of a man who had been in intensive care since Thursday night. Local media reported that the citizen had been admitted with burns on 98% of his body, therefore he has not yet been identified. Meanwhile, 12 of the 58 injured by the explosion remain in health facilities. On Monday afternoon, the powerful explosion shocked the Dominican city of San Cristobal, 24 kilometers from Santo Domingo, generating a powerful shockwave of 500 meters, causing numerous fires that destroyed 4 neighboring buildings and affected 9 others. Let's take a short break, but remember you can join us on TikTok at TeleSUR English, where you will find news in different formats, news updates, and much more. Other stories coming up. Stay with us. Welcome back from the south. In Mexico, in the state of Nuevo León, police confirmed they have rescued 41 migrants from Central American countries. According to official reports, most of the rescued migrants are from Honduras, Guatemala, El Salvador, Ecuador, and Cuba. In a forced operation, 36 migrants, among them 19 minors, were found in a house in the former Rey 115 neighborhood in the city of Monterrey, capital of Nuevo León. In a second operation, another 5 migrants were found crammed in a room at a hotel in the center of the city. The undocumented migrants were transferred to a delegation of the National Migration Institute. Since the repeal of Title 42 of the U.S. immigration law last May, there has been a surge in the number of people attempting to reach the southern U.S. border. Relatives of Argentine social activist Facundo Morales affirm that there are many convincing elements to prove the crime against the photojournalist on August 10th in Buenos Aires. During a press conference held at the press union headquarters, the family's lawyer, Gustavo Franket, and Hugo Morales, father of the social activist, assured that the police caused the mortal asphyxia after 2 policemen weighing 100 kilos each climbed on top of Facundo and crushed him face down on the ground. The lawyer also points out that the autopsy determined injuries consistent with asphyxia. Russian President Vladimir Putin visited Saturday the Army's headquarters in Rostov. Putin arrived for a meeting with the armed forces in the southern Russian city of Rostov-on-Don, where he was greeted by Valery Gerasimov, the chief of the Army's general staff. The operation Rostov was the scene of a dramatic armed mutiny led by the Wagner Group last June. The Wagner militia group briefly took over the facility before halting the rebellion, which wanted to overthrow General Gerasimov, who has rarely been seen in public since. In Canada, authorities declared a state of emergency in the province of British Columbia as forest fires intensify. The difficulties to extinguish the flames led to the evacuation of at least 16,000 people in the cities of Kelowna and West Kelowna. In only 24 hours, the strength of blazes increased by 100%, affecting small towns in the province. According to official information, it is estimated that this fire season has burned over 13.7 million hectares. Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador announced the implementation of a preventive action plan given the proximity of Hurricane Hilary, which is expected to make landfall in the Baja California Peninsula. The president said that more than 18,000 troops have been deployed as part of the DN3 plan. The National Weather Commission, in charge of monitoring the hurricane, says it remains a Category 4 with sustained winds of 215 kilometers per hour. There are warnings of possible thunderstorms, so authorities are urging the population to remain attentive of official alerts and recommendations.
Closely monitoring the hurricane in the Pacific Ocean. The Army is already carrying out preventive actions, implementing the DN3 plan. Today we are giving a report of everything they are doing in terms of mobilization of men and equipment. Do you have the information ready? yet by the genre, only the outline to show to the people of Baja California. This is what is being done in all command posts.
In Colombia, authorities confirmed over 141 aftershocks in the last 48 hours after the 6.1 magnitude quake that shook the city of Bogota. Government authorities offer a balance of damage and power outages in some regions. Bogota's fire brigade reported that a 26-year-old woman died during the quake due to the panic generated by the situation, being the only fatality reported. It was reported that teams of psychological help were assigned to attend to the situation while the protocols for earthquakes were activated. In France, more than 50 departments are under some level of surveillance for high temperatures, 28 of which are on orange alert. The weather agency, Meteo France, added that 9 departments increased their alert level to orange in the last few hours, which covers the southwest to the southeast of the French territory. Friday morning was the hottest of the summer, with temperatures above 20 degrees Celsius in many areas. According to the meteorological agency, temperatures are expected to reach 40 degrees Celsius in several places on Monday or Tuesday. For it is called to stay hydrated and to look after the elderly and those affected by chronic diseases. In Spain, nearly 26,000 people were evacuated from the island of Tenerife as a result of the forest fires that have consumed over 1,600 hectares. According to emergency service authorities, the fire that started on Tuesday, August 15th, is out of control and continues to advance towards neighboring Santa Úrsula and La Victoria. Authorities added that the rapid spread of the fire is due to strong winds, which has also made it difficult to extinguish the blaze. The acting Minister of the Interior, Fernando Grande Marlaska, who visited the island this Saturday, said after meeting with the Canary President Fernando Clavijo that the Civil Guard continues working to find out the causes of the fire.
The firemen are in front of the houses, and that's what I want. That's what the neighbors want. We want the firemen to stay there so the fire doesn't reach the houses, and some animals can be saved. Because my brother did take his little dogs, but not the big ones. And it's a shame. The truth is that I'm very nervous about my parents' house. They died, but my other brother lives next to that house, and we are, as you can understand, very nervous.
We have a second short break coming up, but before we invite you to visit our YouTube channel at TeleSUR English, there you'll be able to rewatch our interviews, top stories, special broadcastings, and more. Hit the subscribe button and activate the notification bell to stay up to date on the world's most recent events. Final short break, don't go away. Welcome back from the South. In Niger, on Saturday, negotiating teams sent by ECOWAS and the United Nations have arrived in Niamey, the country's capital. The delegation sent by the United Nations is led by UN Special Representative for Africa and the Sahel region, Leonardo Simão, who have already met with junta-appointed Prime Minister Mahaman Ali Lamine Sane. Meanwhile, ECOWAS envoys will try to pursue further dialogue with the junta. The delegation includes former Nigerian President Abdullah Salami Abubakar, who had already visited Niamey as ECOWAS representative on August 3rd, but could not meet with the nation's new strongman Abdurrahman Tiani, nor with the post-president Mohamed Bazoum. And continuing with the situation in Niger, given the possibility of an ECOWAS armed intervention in the country, thousands of people are queuing to enlist as volunteers to support the army. An alleged spontaneous movement is rallying civilians to volunteer to form a support group for the army, which would fight, assist with medical care, and provide technical and engineering logistics, among other functions. ECOWAS Commissioner for Political Affairs and Security said Friday they are ready to send a standby force should negotiations fail. In Gabon, the main opposition parties agreed to put forward a joint candidate for next week's presidential election to challenge incumbent Ali Bongo Ondimba. Francois Dong Obiang, president of the Alternance 2023 opposition grouping, selected a consensus candidate to unseat Bongo, former education minister Albert Ondo Osa. Launched in January, Alternance 2023 brings together 6 opposition groupings. According to Obiang, now the 6 candidates belonging to the opposition alliance have all undertaken to withdraw their candidacy in favor of the consensus candidate. The 64-year-old President Bongo officially announced in July that he would run again for president.
You have before you the consensus candidate. It is up to you to mobilize in the countryside, in the village, in the towns, so that this candidate becomes the next president of the Republic, the fourth president of the Republic.
On Saturday, the Chinese People's Liberation Army's Eastern Theater Command launched joint air and sea patrols around Taiwan Island. The Ministry of Defense also confirmed that the Navy and Air Force will carry out military exercises in the area. According to Xi Yi, spokesman for the Eastern Theater Command, the patrols and exercises are aimed at training the coordination of military ships and aircraft, as well as their ability to exercise control of their natural areas. He explained that the current fighting capability will be tested. The government of the administrative region of Taiwan rejected the maneuvers. In India, the G20 Health Ministers meeting was held in the capital of the state of Gujarat. India's Minister of Health and Family Welfare, Mansukh Mandavia, announced the completion of the talks and the adoption of the final document of the meeting. In turn, the senior official noted that except for a geopolitical paragraph on Ukraine, consensus was reached on the rest of the document. In addition, the officials discussed the health challenges that the world is facing nowadays and the equitable access to medical remedies as a fundamental right. We have come to the end of this news briefing, and you can find these and many other stories on our website, telesurenglish.net. Also join us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok. For TeleSUR English, I'm Luis Alberto Matos. Thank you for watching.